So now we could do some rush Andy. I have two video low key kind of look interesting. So one guy from Red Flame is the duty stuff. One more from Waveman is about the new one. The power grip. One video is 20 minutes, and one video is 10 minutes. Do I want to destroy my throat and do the 20 minutes, or do I want to save my voice for tomorrow? I think I want to save my voice for tomorrow and watch less. I think Waveman, this 20 minutes video can be for later, bruh. Type shit, man. Yeah, that shit for later, bro. That shit for later. Both both are mid. No shot, both are mid, bro. Shut up, bro. Shut up. No way. No way this thing's like, nah, no way.
8 months ago.
Alright, chat, it's time to do some React Andy. Don't know why the UI is so small though. Oh, hold on. Oh, what the fuck? Why's the UI so small? Holy shit, look at that. Is there a way for me to change the UI? Annotation, audio track. What the fuck? Hold on. What?
8ヶ月前、私はスターレールのダメージを
It's AI, right? It's AI. Let's try German.
Vor 8 Monaten beschrieb ich in einem Video die größten Designprobleme des
It's fucking AI. Okay, I thought he's not real to hire like different writer. It's fucking AI voice. GG. But yeah, the UI is so small though. Holy shit. Alright, it's time to watch the
8
DOT
months
then.
ago, I made a video explaining the major design problems of starrail's damage over time archetype, which I assumed
I have
were
some
the
grips
reasons
me,
that
so
the
let's go
team
watch it.
hadn't received
And
any
eat.
new characters since Black Swan released in 2.0. Well, after many more months, finally in 3.5 we've just gotten Hysilens, the third ever limited 5-star
What?
DOT
Hi, who?
character.
Whoa. Say it again.
3.5 Black Swan released in 2.0. Well, after many more months, finally in 3.5 we've just gotten Hysilens.
Hysilens? You mean Hysilens? Hysilens. Pronunciation. Nah, I think Google's wrong. I think it's like Hysilens.
The third ever limited 5-star DOT character, and she's proven me wrong in some ways, but also proven me right in others. Let's talk about the challenges Hoyo was forced to take on when designing a character who has the full responsibility of reviving an entire archetype from the dead, and whether we should expect more DOT units or be prepared for it to be ignored for another year and a half. If you haven't watched my previous video, I recommend it because in it I give a lot of context about the entire
Chat, if you haven't watched my previous reaction to the DOT, feel free to go to my clip channel. I don't know why is it, bruh. But yeah, just search up somewhere in my React and yeah, it should be there.
History of the DOT archetype and why Kafka and Black Swan have been the only usable units up until now, but the main point boiled down to simply adding another character that had a DOT effect wouldn't have helped the team, as we saw with Jiao Cho. Black Swan would only slightly get faster stack generation on her unique Arcana DOT, and Kafka's detonation would only get meaningful increases in DPS output if said new ally had exceptionally strong personal DOT damage, since it scales off the strength of the original effect. The situation was shaken up a bit, however, when Kafka was announced to be getting direct buffs. After they dropped in 3.4,
okay, pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Unexpected by turning her original DPS-oriented kit into more of a hybrid support. Firstly, she got some much-needed quality of life, with her skill's detonation now applying to all 3 targets rather than just the one.
Okay, now that's pretty good as well.
Being expanded to trigger off all ally attacks and not just basics.
Insanely good. The fact that you have to normal trigger Hua, that is so ass. But yeah, it triggered on anything is pretty good. It make like rotation faster. The second Hua also get more energy as well. And yeah.
And she also got a second charge for it, but then they rounded her out by giving her a new second ascension passive that increases the attack of all allies with high effect hit rate stats, which is especially relevant for the scaling of DOT users. And lastly, they added a new 6th ascension passive that lets her also detonate DOTs with her follow-up attack.
That also pretty good as well.
Although the changes certainly made Kafka stronger while still committing to the original design of a DOT detonation focused character, it didn't do much to address the fundamental problems that the archetype faced. That's why Hysilens had a really big responsibility to have mechanics which could fix or compensate for these issues, because if she didn't, there wouldn't be a whole lot of reason to run DOT over other teams that are more flexible in units while also being easier to
See,
use.
chat, see, hold on. This team used Jade. Who the fuck say you need AXA to make her top label? Who the fuck say that?
The devs certainly had this in mind when creating her ultimate, which is really the crux of why she works as a unit. Firstly, it deploys a zone that reduces the attack of enemies by 15% and their defense by 25% with upfront AoE damage, but the real
hold on. You think to fix any unit, you think just put in a defense strat would fix everything? I think it did, right? Like, Cypher have insane effect defense strat on a kid, and that like make her insanely good. So like, any unit with like insane defense strat, it's just instantly good now.
real important part is that for every instance of DOT taken by an enemy inside, Hysilens deals her own physical DOT damage to them up to 8 times. The effect lasts for 3 turns, has a fairly standard energy
DOT
cost of
coppers have been
110,
trying for
and
physical
despite
DOT
it
since
being
release.
ultimate,
Yeah, we've been trying for a fucking better Luca, bro. Luca was a miserable physical DOT. Miserable guy.
you don't have to
At least Gunnifin was better than that, but still, like, the team's still miserable though. Like, it just sample Gunnifin and a 5-star. Like, do you need a 5-star? And then Black Sun release, which you play sample. And then Guifin is like, yeah, it's like pretty good, but she's still so fucking ass. Like, the whole team use E, right? Black Swan E, Cafe E, Gunnifin E. So the whole team skill economic is just destroyed. Like, you need someone else that don't E every move and also kind of regen E as well, right? Like, DOT team just so fucking bro. Not shred, what's 40% vulnerability for Stifle? What's the difference then? What? Hold on, what's the difference then between the stuff? Hold on. Are they actually different? Telis, Cypher. I thought Cypher is the defense shred. It's choices, right? Oh, receive more damage. Oh, okay. So it's not defense shred. Alright, cool. My bad, G.
to worry about a lack of uptime at the start of battle thanks to her second ascension trace. The way this
Oh, is defense shred or damage taken which one better? I guess damage taken right. It's just more, I guess, more general than defense shred. Who knows?
ability functions addresses the #1 problem that came with buffing DOT as a team. Originally, DOT felt like the kind of archetype where the more DOT effects you had available across your 4 party members, the stronger the overall output would be. Kafka definitely created that kind of environment.
Oh, look at this team, man. 1.2 sample. Who's that woman again? For one of them. And then Natasha. Holy oh,
version 1
Boomer
by
team.
outputting more damage per skill with
Wow,
more
that's
DOT
a lot.
allies, but that was pretty much lost when generalist supports began to contribute more to the team's damage than additional DOTs did. Not to mention, the follow-up team got fleshed out in version 2 and essentially
That's true.
stole that identity by each character
That's very
contributing
true.
to chains of follow-up attacks triggering each other. Hysilens' ultimate actually does benefit massively from not only any DOT effect regardless of its strength, but also any DOT activation regardless of its strength. For Kafka's skill and follow-up, this means it gets Hysilens' full damage proc despite it only doing a portion of the DOT's original damage, as opposed to her ultimate, which post-buff does significantly more. But in the context of future characters, this effect also creates a niche for units with weaker DOTs to be more useful. That could take the form of a 4-star, or a character that can apply a DOT effect without it being the complete focus of their kit. Similar to how Cypher is a powerful generalist true damage support, but gains bonus synergies thanks to her follow-up. The healer slot seems like the obvious one to fill in, and while it still would be rather difficult to be more useful than the utility that the current
Wait, hold on. DOT healer, bro. Do you think it's worth Druber to make a DOT healer? I mean, you can put like a preservation with the topaz like code, right? The one that if you got hit, the enemy got burned, That is also a duty as well, but not a lot duty. So that's that thing. But like a duty sustain, I think might just make duty more broken. Though if they do something like decrease enemy effect rest or like increase like duty vulnerability, I think that's fine, but not too much, right? Like it's just like between the rich, right? If it exists, and if it's way too good, duty would be like tier -5. And if it exists and it's a bit mid, then might as well just play ho ho, right? It's like between there though. Like you have to like perfectly tune out the duty sustain to make it like kinda balanced. Like and I think Link Shas is still way too good for break as well. So yeah, so you have to tune the duty sustain so that duty like stay in bar with other team as well. With like I guess Cash Rise or Firefly or break stuff. Death ignore useful at high value more than 10% mobility will shoot up damage death buff. Alright.
Sustains provide, any kind of DOT effect or detonation ability will be more competitive than before thanks to Hysilens' damage, while also freeing up those flexible characters to be used on another team. The ultimate is obviously the central point.
Oh, you know what? True, very true. At least now, if I want to play DOT, I can use runaway for Brug now, and not for DOT anymore. That's very true.
Of Hysilens' design, but the rest of her abilities do a pretty good job at supporting it. Her talent lets her apply each of the 4 different types of DOTs when an ally attacks, and it doesn't matter that her scalings here are very weak compared to other characters, because it's the quantity that matters for her ultimate rather than the quality. Her technique accelerates this at the start of battle and every new wave by applying 2 of these effects to each enemy. The skill can increase the damage taken by all enemies by
Hold on. DOT having their own team is nice if you need to support. Do you ever need to save support though? Because to be fair, I think what? Support, I like the same thing other way. Yeah. No different at all though, right? I mean, yeah, how increased damage attack, increased attack percent. Link shot like break stuff. I think how order apply debuff as well. Gotta sustain stuff for like Akron stuff. But then like at the end of the day, they are just sustain though. I don't think that damage buff is that good to make them requirement to make them required for this team. It is nice for sure, but I don't think it's required. So having a 2 sustain, I think that's just fine, right? Like maybe this team took so much damage, so you have to like switch one around. So I think that's fine. I think like the save support, so like save the sustain or like I don't think that's like a requirement though. SP on all this pick, yes, I agree. The SP on Hysilens is like so fucking good. Like I don't think if this guy doesn't mention the SP or not, the SP or not saves so much though. Like if you fuck up one rotation, right? You do one odd and boom, you get SP again. And so like your rotation might be fixed. It's like it's make your play a bit more like forgiving and stuff. It's like so great. It's so good.
by 20% for 3 turns in an AoE, helping out with DPS and her DOT application. Her 4th Ascension Trace allows the initial attack of her ultimate to detonate for 150% DOT damage, which is the new highest multiplier for DOTs in the entire game. Her 6th Ascension Trace gives her the expected alternate scaling with effect hit rate so that it doesn't feel so terrible to build, since you're guaranteeing your DOTs land while also boosting damage output. Passives like this will probably continue to be the standard for DOT users going forward, especially with Kafka's team-wide attack buff now also being a factor. Of course, a lot of Hysilens' usefulness in the current meta does come from her very high numbers
is going
and
to be
endgame
minus
buffs that
SP negative.
specifically overtune DOT.
It's SP negative. I mean, if Sarin gonna be like best in slot for Castrise, right? Then Castrise team need a way to make SP negative because the entire team are just SP positive, bro. Like Castrise don't use E, 3B better use E, RMC don't use E at all. I mean, one E is at the start, but it's all neutral. It's like very positive. I don't know about much auto though. So you have the entire E for like nothing. For support wise, right? Okay, I have seen this spam E, but that get regen so much, like regen immediately from like RMC and GP. And then I guess I guess Lucha, right? Spam E. Like we have so much SP to spam. Much is all SP plus. Like yeah, the entire tier of cash rise are SP plus. Like dude, like Sarin better be like half a mechanics where you can consume like SP to like increase the damage because okay, cash rise team just have like 5 SP there for nothing. It's so funny.
But her kit
Like you are suffer from having too much SP. Too much SP, bro. Too much.
is well-rounded while setting a clear foundation for DOT to have more options in the future. That said, it's very apparent that there's a stark difference in how she performs with and without Kafka. Thanks to the buffs from the last patch,
Oh, that's
Kafka's
true.
high detonation frequency is just so valuable for getting damage out of Hysilens, and the devs were certainly aware of that, as they even gave Hysilens extra skill point generation on her ults. Hysilens gets very little value out of her own skill when
Yeah, like Kafka is like insanely needed. Like if you don't have Kafka, right, the amount of your DPS, the amount of like damage you're doing is like decreased by like 90%. Because without Kafka, you have to rely on how fast the enemy is. And if the enemy is very slow, your damage is like GG. The fact that Kafka detonate, right, it's so much better. Because they know, I think they know that yeah, Kafka is a mandatory for a DOT team. So they just like they make Kafka the foundation, right? And then they make everything around her. And I think that's a pretty good way to do stuff.
her DOTs are fully stacked because her debuff lasts for so long, so it's very much for the team. It really feels like Kafka is meant to be the face of DOT
I mean, yeah, I
forever,
think it is,
which
yeah.
isn't too surprising considering she was the one to establish it originally, while also being a very popular character, and it's not like this is the first time two units together are significantly stronger than individually. However, this leaves Black Swan in a pretty weird spot. Triple DOT is certainly a viable option, as there are synergies between all these units, and they even have it as Hysilens' trial team, but saying she's
Okay.
outdated is honestly just a fact at this point, considering she now
Is
has
it?
the oldest kit out of the three, and it certainly shows with the finer details of her kit. Like for example, Black Swan's ult applies Epiphany, which causes enemies to take 25% more damage, but
Okay.
only during that enemy's turn. Clearly, this is targeted towards only buffing DOT's backloaded damage.
Why? Chat, do you think DOT sustain gonna be like increased enemy action value, but decrease their damage? Do you think that's gonna be the way? Because I think that might fix Black Swan damage because it's only proc because he's saying it's only proc during enemy turn, right? So one way to make it more is one way to make it proc faster is making enemy much more faster, right? So they could make a new sustain that increase enemy action value. So Black Swan just proc way faster though. No? That could be the way to make, I guess, to make like really like a low to make like a low key duty sustain, but not really a duty sustain. It's more like a a overall like stuff. Duty sustain maybe 5x. Nah, bro. Nah, it only took like 2 years for a new duty support, bro. Nah, bro. Trust me, bro. Like in like 4 point something, bro. Trust. It's not long, bro. Trust. Nah, it's only like from the start of like Panacony to like almost the end of Aporius to kind of do this. Nah. Trust. Nah, bro. Nah.
Which
It's
is
not take that long,
understandable, but
bro.
that just means DOT detonation, and now Hysilens' ultimate procs on detonation don't benefit from this. The effect really should just specify a DOT damage increase, because it's not like you're going to run counterattackers on your DOT team. Hysilens being able to apply 4 unique DOTs does help Black Swan stack her unique Arcana DOT damage, but not as much as you'd think. It does directly contribute to Black Swan's passive, which stacks after enemies take any kind of DOT damage on their turn, and that's a pretty good synergy, But for every other method, there's actually not that much of a change. Black Swan's basic attack and skill generate additional stacks for each of the 4 DOT effects on an enemy, but the thing is that Epiphany already counts as every DOT for that reason. So while Hysilens certainly makes the stacking from this more consistent, because it only comes into play during Black Swan's old downtime, the damage ceiling isn't really increased in the way you'd expect. It's even worse for Black Swan's other Ascension trace, which stacks Arcana when DOTs are detonated.
Let's say without Black Swan, right? How much damage loss are you losing? I guess because you can replace sample or like use runway as a replacement. But then if that's the case, right? How much damage can you lose? I haven't played though without Black Swan. So a good try later, I guess, if I have time. But good question, good question. Because Black Swan is like, I thought it's like, you know, another like mandatory, right? To make DOT do way more damage. But if no Black Swan and you put that runway or sample in, if the damage loss is like 10% or like 15%, then yeah, nah, that's like not that bad, bruh. But yeah.
But is hard capped at 3 stacks per action. So even though Kafka is detonating a ton of DOTs at once, Arcana still has a very difficult time getting to its upper limit of 50 stacks. And because Black Swan only has her Arcana DOT without any detonations in her kit, she isn't exactly an enabler for Hysilens like Kafka is. Again, triple DOT is a good team, especially when it's giga buffed by the current endgame modifiers, but I find it a little disappointing that Black Swan still isn't able to reach her maximum damage potential due to her outdated design, since it feels like that would have—
Why in any universe you make a sustain the wolf and not make Black Swan? Making Black Swan the wolf here is like the best option, no? He replaced Ho-Ho. Why do you replace Ho-Ho, bro? What the fuck? Why? Dude, your Hysilens is almost fucking dead. I don't think you need Black Swan though, right? Make her the wolf, bro. Do her E, do her ultimate, and you're done.
Really
what the fuck do you do that?
Supports. Her getting a buff similar to Kafka is a possibility, but it just seems unlikely to happen anytime soon. DOT is really cool when it deals an overabundance of damage because you get to hit enemies on your turns and theirs, but when that isn't the case—
your turn, my turn.
It feels really bad to play, as we've experienced pretty much up until Hysilens' release. Part of the damage relies on waiting for the enemies to act, and applying all the individual DOT debuffs takes some time to ramp up, which are annoying things to deal with, but can be accepted as the major trade-offs for the archetype. However, for the other issue—
I mean, it's a safe thing for Firefly, right? For Bruhh, right? You're waiting for the enemy to get Bruhh to do big damage. Aside from that, you're doing nothing. It's just brick though. DOT is just brick in a nutshell.
Issues like DOTs doing no toughness damage and debuffs being able to be removed by enemies, they are pretty big disadvantages that feel like they don't necessarily need to exist.
Dude, it just brick, bro. It just
feel
the break, man.
Problems that Hysilens
oh my
didn't
god.
manage to fix. Though while she didn't directly address them with her kit,
what with me like playing the most dog shit gameplay ever, man. DOT and break.
More confident now
what is going on, bro?
Could be addressed with new characters eventually, because Hysilens does create a better environment for DOT users that can prioritize
how do I make myself suffer playing the games?
Tons of personal damage. I mean, I would sure hope it's not another year until the next character, since the conditions are better now, but we'll just have to wait and see. I hope you found this video to be interesting or insightful. Subscribe for more starrail discussion videos, and as always, thanks for watching.
Alright. I mean, what the fuck is that? NF, what the fuck is that? What? NF crazy robot body. Alright, buddy. Oh, the question how DOT feels now if I make a DOT buff in endgame. I mean, it's the good buff now. I thought it's a good buff. The new Prevision, right? Let me check. New Prevision. I thought the new Previsions they'll give you like massive buff. Is it not? Does it even say here now? I don't know what it say in the stuff around home. Pure fiction current. No, sorry. No, the fuck. Where's the Prevision go? How do you check the buff? But I think Prevision buff is still no. It gives skill, right, or something. but the sub buff still, give DOT buff. It's still buffing DOT. So it's not like really gone. It's still there. Game cycle wise on PlayStation, I think still. I don't know. That team reached like pretty good score. Is it 53k? No, 54, 56, around there with like the good team. So I think it's still pretty good. DOT is still pretty good now. Next patch, no fucking idea. Since I think next patch we might be back to cash rush beta again. So that's a thing. That's a thing there. And you have to see this patch is still, DOT for sure. But have to wait for next patch to see how good it is. If they still give DOT buff, like Nepo buff in like AS or in Epoch or like P-Vision, right? Then DOT will be playable. MOC will be like the real testing ground on see how good they are. Because MOC right now does give DOT buff, but without those, I don't know how it goes. So yeah, MOC gonna be the real one. P-Vision and Epoch still gonna be like DOT dominating, or like still viable because of the Nepo buff. MOC is gonna be Le Mans question mark. All right. I mean, videos still fine. Videos are pretty okay. It's just a recap on like fucking what Hysilens does. It just said a recap on Kafka, Hysilens Kid, and then just Black Swan, Lamau. Yeah. Issue would be great if Yachu healed like he said he does. Oh yeah, right. I actually thought Yachu healed when he released, by the way. So I play a Yachu team no sustain. So I was questioning why heals where. Like no heals GG. Mid, I told you. Oh no, it's not that mid. It's not that really mid. It's like somewhere like Super Break. It's like that the Super Break meta, right? Meta relevancy. Like it's like go from like very high, and then it's like gradually going down, 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 down. I think that might be DOT, right? Right now it's very high, but then I guess the next few patches is no more DOT buff. So it keep going down, 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 down gradually. Same as break. It's like DOT is break, bro. It's like better break, I guess. It's like the same thing, nothing different. What else? Wow, DOT it's just okay on in-game modes at the moment. In SUDs, had a wave 2 broken. Oh yeah, the fucking no frames. Yes, GG. That I go to my day. Damn, bro, that's crazy, bro. on Plaplic, bro, that's crazy. Mid video, not mid video, right. But yeah, mid videos okay. It's like recap stuff. So you know what? I guess just like subscribe to the guy, right? I guess he make okay videos.